And welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey, and in today's tutorial we're going to be doing a three-dimensional dahlia. Now most people really prefer their flowers to be flat, but there's a few of us, including me, that love dimensions, love layers. And so this is my own pattern, and essentially what we have here is we have two sections of flowers that are coming together. We have a base where everything is operating on top of, and then all of the flowers petals that are operating on top of this base. In today's tutorial I'm going to take you through step by step, because once you understand how to put this together, this flower can be made in virtually any size. And when I mean any size, I mean any size. If you want a smaller version of this, you can make it so that it's not so round, but if you'd even like it to be pillow size or even Afghan size, if you're that ambitious, you can also do that as well, as long as you understand the principles of growing a circle. So let's begin today. We're going to start off with the centerpiece. You will need a size 4.0 millimeter or size G crochet hook today. You're also going to need a yarn stitch marker, and if you don't have one of those, you can always use yarn. We're also going to be using a Red Heart gumdrop. Within this, I'm going to be using two different colors on this particular project so that you understand where the stitches are when it comes to working with the base. So let's begin right now. Okay, to begin we're going to create a slip knot. Very easy, no brainer, and we just want to slip in our crochet hook today. So now we want to chain 4. Remember that this never counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I want you to form a ring by putting the hook into the beginning chain, putting it through, and then grabbing the yarn and pulling through, and this will then begin the very start of your center ring, just like so. So let's start beginning on this pattern right now. To begin, we're going to chain 1, so just very easy, and we're going to single crochet yourself 8 times around the center of this ring. So just going right into the ring, and we're going to single crochet. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now that I've counted out loud, what I want you to do is either get a piece of yarn and slip it through the last section. So this is where the loop is coming up into the hook. Just come right in there and just slip in a marker. And this marker here is by Susan Bates, just so you're aware. So let's begin our next part of this pattern. To keep this pattern in alignment, all you just need to do is count the number of stitches. So you can see here this green one is sitting up properly, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this marker should be sitting in the 8th one, which it is. So that means that when we start, we have to start off with this green one here. And what I want you to do is come into the back loop only. So right now, when you go into both, that's classified as a stitch. If I go into just one of them, which is the closest one to me, that is the front loop. And if I go into the one that's in behind, that's classified as the back loop. So I want you to single crochet into the back loop twice only. Okay, and so now we're going to be doing the back loops for the entire revolutions of this. And so put in 2 single crochets into every back loop going around until you hit to that stitch marker. So this is a really easy way to get started, and there's a reason why we're not joining, we're just following on top of each other, because we're creating what is I call as a never-ending spiral. It's just continuing to go around in circles, and basically if you follow the center right out to the outside of the finishing of the flower, you'll notice it looks like a snail. So this is the last stitch marker. So what you have there, you just pull it out and put in 2 single crochets into the back loop only, and then before you move on, place that stitch marker back into position before you carry on, and that completes that round. And you can see now that we're started off and starting to do a spiral. Okay, moving along to our next round, we immediately start into the very first one here, and we're going to put 2 single crochets into the back loop only. So carry on with your back loops. So there's 2 in that one. The next one is going to be by itself, so just in the back loop for 1 single crochet. Okay, the next one is going to be 2. So what we're doing here is we're alternating every other one to have either 1 stitch or 2. This one is the 2. Okay, so the next one is 1. The next one will have 2. Okay, the next one is a 1. Next one is 2. And this is 1. And the next one is 2. So we want to keep our circles flat. So this is 1 and this is 2. So we got 1 and this is 2. We got 1 and this is 2. And if your math is right, when you end up back at the stitch marker, you should end up with 1 at the end. So that one is going to be 1, and place in the stitch marker once again, and that completes off this round, just like so. So there you have it. So I'll get you started, and this is a repeat pattern again. So the first one is going to get 2 single crochets to the back loop, and the next one is going to be by itself, so 1, and the next one is going to be by itself. So you have one that's going to have a double, and then the next 2 are going to be by themselves. So this one is a double, so there will be 2 single crochets into this one, and then the next 2 are by themselves. So continue that same configuration going all the way to the stitch marker, and we'll meet back up in just a moment and moving on to the next revolution. So let's move along to your next revolution, and this one here is a repeat pattern as well. This is your final revolution, just so that you're aware. And the first one is going to have 2 single crochets in, and then the next 3 are going to be by themselves. Make sure that stitch marker doesn't fall out. So we have 1 into the back loops, 2 and 3. So the next one is going to be by itself. There's going to be 2 in this one, so 1 and 2, and then the next 3 are by themselves, so 1, 2 and 3. So continue to do that all the way around to the stitch marker, and at that point you can either fasten off if you want to change colors, or which I'm going to do so that it's easier for you to see, but you can also keep your flower colors the same as well. So continue that same pattern going all the way around. We'll meet back up in just a moment. So I'm now all the way back around, and all I'm just going to do now is just pull it through. Instead of finalizing the first one on the back loop, I'm just going to pull it through, and I'm going to fasten off my yarn at this point, like so. And so to do that, I've already cut my string just now, and I'm just going to grab the string, pull a loop through, and then pull it completely through. And I will do a better job of hiding this afterward. You can pull at the stitch marker. So even if your circle is not perfect, or you've kind of miscounted at any point, it doesn't really matter for this, because what we're looking for is actually these little stitches that you can see in the front. So let's begin, and we're going to start off with doing the petals next. I'm going to do a few petals for you, because once you see how to do it, it's so mindless, it's not even funny. So let's begin our first one now. So let's start our petals. I'm going to create a slip knot to begin, and this slip knot will be well hidden underneath. And what I want to do now is that I want to grab the project up, and I want to go to the very first stitch. Now on the outside here, you will notice that there's 2 stitches here. Okay, there's 2 strings, which equals 1 stitch, but again, it's the front and the back. So what we want to do is that we want to get the stitches that are sitting up. See these, how they're sitting up? Those are the ones that we want to play in all the way around. If you were to follow this in a complete circle, you will spiral all the way back to the very beginning, to where we started in the middle, which is exactly what we're looking for. So when you slip in your hook the first time, you just need to go into one of the strings that's on the front side, and then just grab your yarn and pull it through. And you can just let the straggler fall, because it is a slip knot, and I simply just need you to join it. So let's join. Okay, and so now I want you to chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So second chain from the hook, I want you to come in just like this, and I want you to single crochet. So there is the point of your petal. The next one is going to be a half double, like this. So you pull through all 3. And so then the final chains on here are all going to be a double crochet each. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, why would I go from a single to half to double? It provides a really nice equalized point by going in that graduation. During R&D, I did try not to do those many steps, and I had more of a flat look to my flowers, which I didn't really like. So we're just double crocheting ourselves all the way down the chain, and because we're crocheting in this direction, and when I go to apply it, do you see how it's kind of coming toward me? That's a natural way that it's going. So when I'm going to attach this next, I've run out of stitches, so essentially I want you to skip over the first two. So here's where it's attached. Okay, so skip that one, go to the third one over, and I want you to slip stitch it together. So just grabbing the yarn, pulling it through like so. And so now this petal is attached. So now what I want you to do is skip the first one and go to the second, and what we want to do is just do a slip stitch, so pulling it through, and so this begins the next petal. So let's begin again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and like before, second down is going to be a single crochet. Next one is a half double. Now I'm just saying to you, because it's my pattern so I can, is that if you're off by one stitch when you're doing the double crochet all the way down, and it's once in a while, it's not a big deal. It's a flower that looks completely crazy, completely three-dimensional, and if everything was perfect in it, it probably wouldn't look as cool. So if you're off by any stitches at all, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. So now that we've got all the way down, so we skip the next two. So 1 and 2, go to the third, just to the front side only, slip stitch it, and then skip the next one and slip stitch to the next. So here is the repeat pattern. Everything that I just showed you is going to be like that, going all the way around. So essentially what happens is that once you come around, you're going to be following the edge, but see how the edge here, when you're following, it's now the next layer. So it's going down. So you're just going to do the same pattern going all the way around and around and around this circle until you get to the very center point. And then what you have to do at this point is that once you come back is that you just start off here and you do single crochet all the way along the edge. If you want to have an edging, you can leave it at like this if you wish, and just single crochet around the edging. And when you single crochet and just follow these petals, it'll take you all the way back to the center point as well. So let me do this off camera, and I'll meet you back up in just a moment, and I'll show you what this flower looks like in the end once you think how crazy it can be. And I'm kind of curious too. I didn't change the color like I did with the I changed the color unlike this one here from the back, so it's going to be kind of interesting how this one turns out. So I'll meet you back in just a few moments. So I've now come all the way back to the center, and you can see that there's a little gapping space here. Now what I did here, actually Daniel did it, is a little mini pom-pom that we have slid into the middle, and we just sewed it into there, so you can see the white is actually protruding through, and that's what we did to get rid of that. But you know, you don't have to go all the way around. You can actually leave a gapping space if you wanted to leave the inner circle empty and not fill it in with an extra petals. You can always do that and have like an like a little gap right in the middle. So let's finish this off. We're just going to trim, and we're going to do it. So the difference between this one here and the white one is that the white one I did a trim. So what I did is that I followed the petals all the way around. Because you've gone in a continuous circle all the way around this particular piece, is that the petals are all joined to each other. So no matter where you start on these things, is that once you start on the petals. So let's go on the outside here. Let's see where we've started this particular one. It should be pretty obvious. Here we go. So here's the very starting one. So when you really look at the petals, all you just have to do is single crochet up one side, single crochet down the other, and keep going and going and going and going. And once you do this, because you've gone in a spiral here, see these ones here are now joined on the other side. You see that? So you just have to go all the way continuously around. You can play with your colors and make them really exciting and a lot of fun by doing this. And so this would be how you would create the dahlia. So that's it for today. If you want to finish off your dahlias and make some nice trimming around your petals, you can do so. If not, you can always go with this. You can see that it did change the color, but it really didn't make too much of a difference on the outside for being able to see that. So that is a great indication as well. So on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd, thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, we'll see you.